Welcome to the Money Hour with host Tina Mitchell and co-host Keelan Harvey. Tina Mitchell, MLO 145420, and Keelan Harvey, MLO 1330075, are licensed loan originators with Highlands Residential Mortgage Limited, NMLS 134871. The views expressed by the speakers on the following program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views of Highlands Residential Mortgage Limited, nor are they necessarily endorsed by Highlands Residential Mortgage Limited. Now, in the studio, local mortgage experts Tina Mitchell and Keelan Harvey.
Welcome to the Money Hour at 11:50 a.m. KKNW, the Friday, November 13th virtual show. Because of COVID-19, our show has temporarily moved virtual. You can also listen to our show on podcast or on air on Saturday at 3 p.m. with a rebroadcast on Sunday at 8 a.m. I am your host, Tina Mitchell.
And I'm your co-host, Keelan Harvey.
Bringing expert advice and inside knowledge on today's events in our local economy and how it can affect your money. If you're hearing our show at a different time or day, you are listening to a rebroadcast. We are here to answer any questions or connect you with the guests that we have on the show. Please call the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150, or you can go online to themoneyhour.com. And our lineup for today's show, we have Angel Barna of Troth & Company. Could you be saving thousands on Medicare expenses? We also have Rachel Garcia of Minuteman Press Issaquah. How do you market your business during a pandemic? And our last guest in studio today, we have Ariel Hubbard of Hubbard Health Solutions, keeping business thriving in a COVID world. Great information and great guests in studio today. For more information on any topic discussed, please call the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150, or online at themoneyhour.com. And we'll start out today's show, as we do each week, with a little bit of money chat.
Money.
Excited to hear what you got for our listeners today, Keelan.
Well, I decided, due to the spirit of all this refinancing because of low rates, I want to talk about some insider expert stuff on our end as far as mortgages are concerned that not even most LOs either don't know or won't explain to you. So the myths and facts on refinancing and break-even points. So I'm going to run through this pretty quick because we only have a little 5-minute segment here, but some good stuff here. So let's talk about the refinance first. So let's say you purchase a home a year and a half ago, and you purchased for $500,000, and you put 20% down. The loan amount would be $400,000, and on a 30-year mortgage, let's say you saved 7/8%, which is $230 per month based on your current loan, or a 15-year, which is 1 3/8% on a 15. But in this case, because it's a 15-year, you're going to pay $709 more per month. Now, this is an arbitrary number, but let's say your closing costs are $2,300 a month. The question is, when will your break-even point be? You now owe $392,930 a year later. With closing costs, it's $395,230. Now, on a 30-year, you of course would save that $230 per month. The payment would go from $2,755 to $2,525. Here's where the misconception is, though. However, the savings isn't the payment. In other words, it's not the difference in the total payment. A lot of people think that's the case. It's the savings actually in the interest. So you are actually saving $264 per month in interest. The other $34 is added to principal. The break even is not 10 months, some would say, based on how a lot of people do the math. The actual break even is 9 months. So let's talk about the 15-year. Payment goes up $709, but we have to go back and look at our interest again. The payment is now $34.64. It went up by $709, but you're actually saving $502 per month in interest, also putting a ton more money towards principal. So on a 15-year loan, your break-even point is 5 months. Misconception there in our industry, it's the interest, which is important to find your break-even point. Now, addressing the famous refinance and you'll skip a payment. I've heard a lot of people in our industry say, hey, Mr. Customer, you're going to skip a payment if you refinance, and then they'll even apply that towards closing costs. And that's not necessarily the truth. So let's take April, May, June, and July, for example. Let's say you're closing May 6th. If your mortgage is due May 1st with your old company, I'm asked by a lot of my customers if they should make their May payment while refinancing because they know there's a little skip in there. You'll hear loan officers say to make your May 1st payment and or you'll hear loan officers say your payment is due May 1st and you might as well skip it. That's not what I would say. What they forget to tell you is that the May's payment is not for the month of May, it's for the month of April. Interest in mortgages is paid arrear. When you pay rent, you pay the first of the month and the month that is approaching, the coming month. If you're the bank and you give them $1,000, they're not going to give you your interest up front. It doesn't work that way. So they use that money for that month, they go earn their money on it, and then they pay you your interest. Same thing happens with mortgages. So if you don't make that May 1st payment, they're just going to tack it on your balance. You will also have to pay interest from May 1st to May 6th. Nothing is free here. You're not skipping anything. You're financing it as opposed to paying it up front. What about the May 6th to the end of the month, you ask? It's an odd number of days, and they're actually collecting that at closing. So you're not skipping anything there either. This is the only payment you'd pay in advance in mortgages, period. That's why it goes onto your APR here. You are paying it in advance. This is also an area where loan officers will manipulate the APR, because if you estimate someone is closing at the end of the month, not the beginning of the end of the month will have a lower APR. Interesting. So speaking of June 1st, you don't have to make a payment, but you don't skip a payment either. Why? Because you already paid it, which was the interest from the month of May and paid on May 6th. Everything before May 6th is giving to the old lender. Everything past May 6th is giving to the new lender. If you went and paid your cable bill on the 6th and it was due the 1st, you're not skipping it. You're just paying in advance. So I wanted to clear that up because that's probably one of the biggest misconceptions that I've seen in our industry. You're not getting anything free here. There's no skipping a month. You're going to pay for it. It's just depending on when your loan closes and if it's going to your old lender or the new lender.
Yeah, such great information, Keelan. And yeah, in this lending environment right now, when everybody's getting into doing mortgages because there's so many people that can use the service with these low interest rates, there is a lot of miscommunication. I'm owner of Mortgage Triangle software, which of course we use, and I don't know any other software that's as great as mine out on the market, because what it does is it compares your current amortization schedule to your new amortization schedule. So when somebody says it's going to take a certain amount of months based on the amount of closing costs you're paying to recover, that doesn't make sense because you're in a certain period in your current amortization. You want to look at the difference, how much interest you're going to pay on your current loan out 5 or 10 years, however you're going to keep it, versus how much interest you're going to pay out 5 or 10 years on your new one, and where's your ending balance going to be. It's really easy. So Keelan shared a lot of numbers there, which can be confusing. However, when you call into the show, Keelan can run numbers for you and exactly what that's going to look like on our software, and it will tell you whether the numbers are red or green. Keelan, thank you so much for that money chat today. The Consumer Price Index, CPI, which measures inflation on consumers' level was flat for the month of October. The year-over-year reading decreased from 1.4% to 1.2%. The core reading, which strips out food and energy prices, was also flat month over month, and the year-over-year reading dropped from 1.7% to 1.6%. Why did we see inflation start to cool a bit? Over the previous 5 reports, inflation was up 1.5%. The flat reading and the drop in the year-over-year figures were likely due to the spike in COVID cases in October, causing consumers to be fearful. Now, rents are rising 2.7% across the U.S., which is stable from the previous months. The NFIB Small Business Optimism Index remained unchanged in October at 104. As COVID cases rise and things potentially shut down, the optimism may weigh in the months to come. Now, plans to hire fell 5 points. Positions not able to fill dropped 3 points. Current compensation was unchanged, but compensation plans rose 2 points to the highest level in 8 months. Those that expect higher selling prices rose for the 5th month by 2 points to match the highest level since July 2019, and speaks of the potential inflation theme. Now, if prices are expected to rise, thus causing inflation, it will have a negative effect on mortgage interest rates. CoreLogic reported their loan performance insighting showing 6.6% of mortgages were 30 days or more delinquent, unchanged from the last month. Loans 60 to 89 days past due dropped from 1% to 0.8%. Loans that are seriously delinquent of 90 days or more increased from 4.1% to 4.3%. Homes in foreclosure remain stable and very low at 0.3%. Now, we are still seeing elevated levels of 30-day delinquencies, but they are trending in the right direction. It's also natural to see the 90-day plus delinquencies rise as people in foreclosure funnel their way through the snake and are in foreclosure longer. Now, on the job front, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, BLS, reported that there were 338,000 job gains in October, which was right around market expectations. Putting things in perspective, we are still 9 million jobs short of where we were pre-pandemic. There are two reports within the jobs report: the business survey, where the headline job numbers come from, the household survey, where the unemployment rate comes from. This is a fundamental difference between these two reports. The business survey is based on automatically of modeling, while the household survey is done by actual phone calls to 60,000 homes and may have been more reflective of actual job losses. Within that survey, there were 2.24 million job gains. Now, the unemployment rate decreased from 7.9% to 6.9%, which was much stronger than expectations of 7.7%. And it was for the right reasons. While there were 224 million job gains, the labor force increased by 724,000 because there were so many job gains that people joining the labor force, the unemployment rate moved lower. Now, there has been a misclassified error where people were classified as absent from work for other reasons and not marked as unemployment on temporary layoff when they should have been. Without this error, the unemployment rate would have been 0.3% higher, or 8.3%. The all-in unemployment rate, which includes the total unemployment plus all persons marginally attached to the labor force plus total employment part-time for economic reasons, decreased from 12.8% to 12.1%. Average hourly earnings increased 4.5% year over year, which was down from 4.7%. Average weekly earnings, which we focus on more, rose by 5.7% up to 5.6%. And that is some numbers for you today and your money chat. Coming up next in the Money Hour, could you be saving thousands of Medicare expenses? Angel Barna of Troth & Company right here on 1150 AM KKNW.
Is navigating your healthcare options challenging? Angel Barna with Troth & Company helps businesses and Medicare-eligible individuals navigate often complex healthcare options. Let them be your partner in healthcare planning. As a broker, they are your advocate and work for you. Get non-biased, straightforward options by calling 425-616-2867. Troth & Company, your partner in healthcare planning. 425-616-2867.
You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, and co-host, Keelan Harvey on Alternative Talk AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage experts, Tina Mitchell and Keelan Harvey.
You are listening to the Money Hour on 1150 AM KKNW, the Friday, November 13th virtual show. Because of COVID-19, our show is temporarily moved virtually. You can also listen to our show on podcast or on air Saturday at 3 p.m. with a rebroadcast on Sunday at 8 a.m. I am your host, Tina Mitchell.
And I'm your co-host, Keelan Harvey.
It is a great day to talk money, and that's what the show is all about: how to make money, save money, so you can have a better quality of life for you and your family. If you're hearing our show at a different time or day, you are listening to a rebroadcast. We're here to answer any questions or connect you with the guests that we have on the show. Please call the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150 or online at themoneyhour.com. And now in studio, very excited to introduce Angel Barna of Troth and Company. Our topic today with her is, could you be saving thousands on Medicare expenses? Right here on 1150 AM KKNW. Angel, welcome to the show. So happy to have you.
Thank you.
Great to have you. A little bit about Angel. Angel is health insurance broker who brings over 10 years of insurance expertise to her clients. Having helped hundreds of businesses and individuals over the year, Angel empowers business owners, Medicare beneficiaries, and individuals navigate the rough waters of healthcare. She takes her clients from a place of confusion to confidence and understanding. By taking the time to personally understand each client's individual needs, she tailors options and solutions that meet both their goals and budget. Angel, first and foremost, is a proud mom of 2 kids and a dog lover in her spare time. She enjoys watching her daughters compete, flower gardening, spending time at Westport with their kids, crabbing, and beach combing.
Sounds fun, Angel. I know there's a lot of confusion around Medicare. So let's start out with, when can you change Medicare plans, Angel?
So there's typically one time that you get to make major changes for most of us for Medicare eligible individuals, and that's October 15th to December 7th every year. That is the Medicare annual enrollment period for people that are on Advantage plans and standalone drug plans.
So, Angel, is there a reason why you would not auto renew your current coverage?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so every year, it's a very competitive market, Medicare. So every year these plans change. So they add different benefits and features. What I'm seeing this year is there's more chiropractic, there's acupuncture. Now all of a sudden Medicare beneficiaries get access to naturopathic care as well. And they're adding all kinds of great benefits, the gym memberships. They're making so many changes in a climate where typically your benefits go down for healthcare. You know, your premiums go up and your benefits kind of feel like they're shrinking on you. Medicare is the opposite. They pack more benefits in, and they seem to lower the costs. If you can imagine that, premiums drop. But a few things that happen this time of year is that all the contractors, the facilities, the physicians, they're all renewing their contracts with each individual plan and carrier. So your plan that you had last year that your physician contracted with may not be a contracted physician this year. And you don't want to change your physicians if you don't have to. It's a little easier to change your plans. Also, one of the key indicators for overall cost for Medicare is drugs. And every single year, those drug formularies are going to change. So the plan that covered your drugs beautifully last year may not be the best plan for you this year.
Yeah, such great information, and why it's so important, Angel, to have you on the show so people can connect with an expert when it comes to their Medicare.
Yeah, so, and I love the fact that they're expanding this, because I think all those things are really important. Going to the gym, acupuncture, I've heard some of the benefits of that. You know, instead of that traditional medicine, there's ways that people can get help outside of that, which I think is fantastic that's helping our community. What's the number one problem or some of the top problems that you solve as far as Medicare is concerned, Angel?
So top problem that I solve year after year is actually the cost of drugs. There's a few things you can do, but you really just want to see everything that's available. And what I do is I work with my clients based on the prescriptions that they take. I take a look at where they get those prescriptions filled, how often they get them filled. Are they generics? Are they not generics? And we look at all of the plans available in the county that they live in. So every plan that's available in Washington State. The beauty of working with a broker is that I don't work for any of the carriers. I work for my clients. So I will show you what all your top options are based on those indicators. And then you'll have the opportunity to select a plan that can save you. It's crazy, but you can save thousands of dollars, literally sometimes just by changing your pharmacy. You know, your pharmacy that you go to for years, maybe a standard network. And if you move to the one across the street, it's a preferred network, you know, so it's little things like that. And most Medicare beneficiaries don't know that. They don't realize that, you know, those little changes can be made.
Yeah. So, Angel, let's talk about the benefits of working with an insurance broker like you.
It's really just the beauty of having somebody on your side. You actually have an advocate that's working for you. And I contract with all the carriers in Washington. I have 96 plans in King County, 10 carriers, and very non-biased, right? So it doesn't matter who you go with, just as long as you have a plan that's right and perfect for you. It cuts down on the time that you're going to be on the phone. It cuts down on the time that you would spend educating yourself on the different plans and trying to figure out what you don't know. You know, you look at it and you think, how can a zero premium plan have so many benefits? What am I missing? It's great to have somebody come alongside you and help you. Also, in the Medicare space, it never costs you anything to work with a broker. So these services are all at no cost to you.
That's fantastic. That's always nice that you have a kind of a 30,000-foot view and you have all these tools at your resources and you got your clients first, which is huge. How do you help your clients through some of the issues? Walk me through the process that they find usually with Medicare.
Yeah, so Medicare is, there's a couple different ways of covering Medicare. So depending on your lifestyle, right? Are you a snowbird? Do you travel a lot? If you travel a lot and you're not home in Washington a lot, an HMO plan is probably not going to be a good fit for you, right? You may need a different kind of plan, like a Medicare supplement that will pair with traditional Medicare. So there's things like that we take a look at. Also, we take a look at what's going on with your health. Are there things that you know are coming up? Or do you have chronic health issues that you need to manage? Where are your specialists at? Where are your physicians at? We want to make sure that we have a plan that covers all of your physicians and gives you some room to see physicians that may or may not be covered on the plan. Those options are available as well. And every year, as I work with my clients, and every year life changes for you, right? And every year we just make those little adjustments and those tweaks. You know, you're perfectly healthy last year. This year you're looking at maybe having a hip replacement, right? So things like that we can see coming ahead, we can plan for a little bit.
Yeah, that is so important, Angel, and hopefully the years for me are going uphill, not downhill. But anyways, all right. So let's talk about what are some of the big changes that you see year to year in Medicaid or Medicare?
Yeah, some of the big changes are you'll notice that, well, in King County, this is such a great place for Medicare. Washington State is great for Medicare. We're incredibly lucky to have these amazing built out networks. So even if you decided to go with an Advantage plan that's an HMO plan, it is not a narrow network. It is a beautifully built network. For most all of the carriers here, it's a very competitive market. And what I see is that every year these plans get better and better and better. And a reason for that is the better that these carriers take care of the Medicare beneficiaries, the more funding they get from the government that they get to throw back into their plans. They expand it out. And so a lot of them are adding in comprehensive dental. They've got great vision benefits. They're doing complementary hearing aids now. There's just all these great bells and whistles. Some of them have expanded the gym memberships, which they've seen as really important to the Medicare population right now. And then the naturopathic care, like I had mentioned, has really expanded. And so the benefits just seem to be getting better and better. If you can, sounds kind of like, what? But that is the case for Medicare.
So it's not too good to be true.
Yeah, seems like it, but yeah.
Yeah, the HMO's got a bad rap back in the day, but I have a friend who's involved in an HMO, and I'm wondering if it's better than anything. Everything's interconnected. It's very convenient. They got everything under the sun. The referrals are typically in building. I mean, it's really kind of a cool thing nowadays. Angel, what about what should clients be looking out for when they're trying to make some decisions around Medicare?
Yeah, so what you're looking for when you're selecting a Medicare plan, you want to look at, first of all, are your physicians covered? Are the facilities that you like covered? Will you have coverage when you travel? A lot of people who are retired or about to retire, they're going to spend a fair amount of time traveling. You got to know what your benefits look like if you're out on the road. Another big piece that I always like to point out is the co-insurances. If you're looking at an Advantage plan, it's either going to be a small co-insurance or it'll be a flat copay, right? So you're looking at one of the big indicators that I see is outpatient, and the outpatient procedures can be anywhere from 20%, or it could be a flat copay of $395, $295. I've seen them as low as $265. So those benefits are really good to look at for overall costs. So you're not paying 20% of a bill. And a lot of those procedures are day procedures now. A lot of them you're not staying overnight in. Another thing that I always take a look at is what is your maximum out of pocket? If the sky falls on you, what are you on the hook for? So those are some of the big indicators when you're looking at all of the plans side by side.
Got it. So Angel, we have about a minute left, and I would love for you to let our listeners know how they can get in contact with you for a free Medicare consultation, and maybe quickly what they can expect out of that.
Yes. Well, Medicare consultations are at no cost. I review everything. So we'll take a look at the prescriptions, we'll take a look at the drugs, the providers, all of it. You can reach me at 425-577-3395. I am not able to reach out to Medicare beneficiaries, so you would have to initiate contact per Centers for Medicare Services guidelines. But I would love to meet all your listeners.
Wonderful, Angel. And if you're catching it at a different time of the show, Angel's commercial will be on the show, as well as she'll be listed and for her podcast on the website at the Money Hour. Angel, thank you so much for coming in and sharing the wealth of information and your expertise when it comes to Medicare.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Coming up next in the Money Hour, how do you market your business during a pandemic? We have Rachel Garcia of Minuteman Press, Issaquah, right here on 1150 AM KKNW.
Are you short on time and have a budget, but recognize the importance of marketing your business? Minuteman Press in Issaquah can help you create beautiful marketing materials for your whole office and beyond. Rachel and her team have been helping customers with their signs, vehicle graphics, apparel, and printing. With over 80 years combined experience, we'll handle all your branding needs so you can focus on what matters most, your customers. Call or email today, 425-391-4950 or Issaquah@MinutemanPress.com. Relax, we've got you covered. Let us help you take the stress out of marketing your business.
Is navigating your healthcare options challenging? Angel Barna with Troth & Company helps businesses and Medicare eligible individuals navigate often complex healthcare options. Let them be your partner in healthcare planning. As a broker, they are your advocate and work for you. Get non-biased, straightforward options by calling 425-616-2867. Troth & Company, your partner in healthcare planning, 425-616-2867.
You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, and co-host, Keelan Harvey on Alternative Talk AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage experts, Tina Mitchell and Keelan Harvey.
You are listening to the Money Hour at 1150 AM KKNW, the Friday, November 13th virtual show. Because of COVID-19, our show is temporarily moved virtually. You can also listen to our show on podcast or on air Saturday at 3 p.m. with a rebroadcast on Sunday at 8 a.m. I am your host, Tina Mitchell.
And I'm your co-host, Keelan Harvey.
We are here to help you build a strong financial blueprint, 1 week and one show at a time. If you are hearing our show at a different time or day, you are listening to a rebroadcast. We are here to answer any questions or connect you with the guests that we have on the show. You can call the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150 or online at themoneyhour.com. And now in studio, we have Rachel Garcia of Minuteman Press, Issaquah. How do you market your business during a pandemic? Right here on 1150 AM KKNW. Rachel, welcome to our show. Happy to have you here.
Hi, Tina. Hi, Keelan. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yay. And a little bit about Rachel. Rachel owns 3 Minuteman Press shops in Issaquah, Renton, and Tacoma. At her shops, they print traditional ink on paper projects, but also make just about anything that you can put your logo on. They do fun promotional items that companies use as gifts or giveaways, and have a sign department where they do all sorts of signs, from store hours to yard signs and banners. Rachel's background is in print. She worked in print shops during and after college. She took over ownership of the Issaquah Minuteman Press 5.5 years ago and has expanded into Renton and Tacoma during that time. She is drawn to print. Rachel will tell people, I didn't choose print. Print chose me. And she says she has a great teams in all of her shops.
Awesome, Rachel. Well, let's start out with just asking you about marketing. Why is marketing so important for your business?
Okay, so marketing your business, you market your business so that current and potential customers know what you offer and where to find you. You can market, there's many ways to market outside your business with advertising, and you can also market inside your business by branding everything that your customers and potential customers might come in contact with.
So, Rachel, let's talk about some of your favorite projects that you have done for some of your clients.
Okay, great. So the great thing about being here locally is that we get to do really custom projects. So we've had some really interesting projects come in recently related to the COVID-19 pandemic that, changed everything for everyone. We've done the floor signs that you see in public places to remind people to social distance. And for some customers, we've been able to print custom signs for them that have beautiful pictures, beautiful branding, that are also social distance reminders. We've made some custom wraps for hotels that we work with that go around different products within the hotel room so that their guests know that different products have been sanitized. One project that I'm really looking forward to this week is we are installing full window vinyl for a retail store that is going in the area. It's a big coming soon sign that will block the entire window front of the store and advertising that the store is coming soon. But it blocks the view from the inside to the outside so that people walking by don't have to see all the shelving and boxes that are going in during setup.
So that's so fun that on a print side that you can get so creative with doing things that, behind the scenes you're not thinking about because it's not, or behind the scenes you are, in front of the scenes you're not thinking about it because it's been taken care of behind the scenes. And I also love that even in COVID with the social distancing, it actually is a benefit because now they have so much more marketing and branding with the requirement that they have to have this signage. So I love that. It's a great way to look at an opportunity out of a challenge for sure.
Yeah, it's been really fun to see.
Yeah, with marketing, depends on what you're marketing. You also have messages that you got to get across. And with COVID, obviously our message has changed, and it's important that your customers see what you're about as a business. So that's really interesting. What does marketing look like, and what have you seen that's emerging now from kind of the shutdown that we're in? And the reins have been let loose again, but I heard they're maybe shutting it down again, Inslee announced. So I'm curious on what that looks like for you guys in the marketing department.
Yeah, it's a new world that we live in. Some of the best advice that we can give is that you should market your business like you marketed your business when you were first opening. Find your clients, send them a coupon, get a mailing list that targets your ideal client. Let them know you're open, what services you're offering, run a special. I've seen that from multiple customers. As soon as it shut down, things shut down, they ran a special and they've had steady business. The most successful marketers I've seen do a combination of digital and print marketing, meaning they set up their email list and they send a mailer. The more your customer sees your name, the more they'll recognize your brand and contact you when they need your services.
Great advice, Rachel. And I'd love for you to share some of your expertise advice, because not only do you own the print shop, but you've worked in marketing. And so you have just that extra level of that expertise in that arena. So can you share a little bit about what you would talk to business professionals and how they're designing their marketing materials?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite topics. So, if you're starting a new business, or if you are gearing up for a rebranding, or just, trying to really focus on your brand, I would suggest hiring a designer or talking to your printer. I started out in graphic design at my first print shop, and the first thing we learned in my graphic design class was that logos need to look good in black and white before you try to make them look good in color. So I know that can be a really foreign concept. When I first heard that, I didn't know quite what it meant. But basically, it means that your logo needs to have clean lines and minimal detail. Think like the Nike swoosh or Apple's logo. They're very simple, clean, recognizable. They're going to look good small on a business card and huge on a billboard. They're going to look good embroidered on jackets or on your favorite coffee mug. You can fancy them up if you need to for different projects, but the logo itself should be simple so it can look good in black and white and color. So we do have clients come in that have tried to design their own logo, and I'm sure it's because they're trying to save money, but they're usually really proud of them, but they'll have tiny lines or grids or pictures. And these just don't translate well to marketing materials. They won't stand the tests that we've set up. Will they look good in black and white? Will they look small on a business card and big on a billboard? Will they look good on your favorite water bottle? It just won't hold up. So keep these things in mind if you want to design your own logo. And if you need help branding, we have an excellent design team that can help you design your logo and all your marketing materials. And I would also say, for marketing advice, put your logo on everything you can. If you have forms, put your logo on it. If you sell product, put your logo on it. If you have a company vehicle, put your logo and information on it. It's a moving billboard.
Absolutely. All about the branding, and the logo is your biggest part of your brand, and that image that represents your brand. And I love how you mentioned, because logo is a big thing. And as an entrepreneur and owning businesses, you can really get attached to something that you came up with. However, you need to make sure, unless you are an expert in branding and marketing and coming up with logos, you need to talk with an expert to make sure that you are nailing it, because that's your image.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, I've unfortunately seen some logos that are just too busy, and you're trying to figure out what they do. Like, what is it? Is it a roofing company? Do they do windows? So, it makes a lot of sense that the simpler the better, and it tells people, okay, what is this about? How does that process work with you, Rachel, with helping businesses market?
Oh, okay. So, like I mentioned, we have very talented designers on our team that can help design projects from conception to completion. And we offer a free consultation with our designers or our customer service team. Everyone on our team is very knowledgeable. So if you're thinking about a project, the best time to come in is during the brainstorming stage. One where we're different from online printers is we can problem solve with our customers, and we can make specialized and custom projects. We can help design business cards, brochures, posters, just about everything. We're also mailing specialists. We send mailings out every week and have the mailing process dialed in. We take real pride in the work that leaves our shops. We want all of our customers to look good. So if we're creating your file, we have control over the design project to set up and ensure your product looks exactly how you want it. But if you send us a file, which is great too, all of the team is trained. They do an initial diagnosis on your file, and they'll call you immediately to let you know if there are any problems and start to work with you and offer solutions. Take signs, for example. I've seen signs that have way too much information on them. As people are driving by the signs, they can't read that much information that fast. All you want on your sign is your awesome logo, maybe a clever tagline stating what you do, and no other writing. People just can't read it as they're driving by.
Makes total sense. And that, applies for pretty much everything. When you're doing marketing, you want to minimize the content that you have, so they know exactly laser focused where they need to go. So Rachel, can you share some of the best marketing that you've seen?
Yeah. Okay. So two things come to mind. The first, like I mentioned, put your logo and your name on every piece of printed material. And the second is really to have fun. We work with a medical clinic who, first, they have a great logo. It's their initials in a very simple, clean format. And they put their logo on everything, every form in their office, every piece of mail that goes out. If you look around your home or office, everything you own has a brand name on it. That's so you know what you bought, where you want to go if you want to buy more. And if your friends or clients come over, they know where to look. So budget for marketing. I've learned that the company should market 5% of their sales to marketing. But I've also had people tell me that's a really low number and that businesses should spend 10 to 15% of their sales on marketing. The most successful companies I work with have a marketing plan and are willing to spend a little time and money to market their businesses. So have fun with your marketing. That same medical office I just mentioned gives branded gift cards to clients as a thank you for referrals. You could have a contest and give away fun branded swag for first-time clients or clients who spend over a certain dollar amount. So find a way to make it fun for you and your clients.
Love that. Rachel, unfortunately, we're out of time already. We have I'm going to give you a couple seconds here because it's really important that people know where they can find you and the promotional items that you offer.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Hopefully I've given your listeners some ideas of how they can market their business in a fun and effective way. Think about marketing as reinvesting in your company. Get strategic, make a plan, and have fun. Yeah.
No, that's great. Thank you.
Great advice, Rachel. And yes, you definitely shared some great content that anyone that's listening to the show today, sure they had some takeaways, and probably some of them might be rethinking some of the marketing that they're doing for their business. So thank you again for being here today.
Thank you so much.
Coming up next in the Money Hour, keeping business thriving in a COVID world. Ariel Hubbard of Hubbard Health Solutions right here on 1150 AM KKNW.
Do you need a break from the pandemic stress? Are you feeling overwhelmed? It's time to reframe your life, generate positivity, and return to feeling terrific. At Hubbard Health Solutions, we can help you return to a state of feeling great in private, customized treatments using massage and classic holistic health modalities. Hubbard Health Solutions, transformational bodywork to make you feel great, reframe, and change your life.
Hi there, everybody. This is Ariel Hubbard. If you'd like to reach me, text me at 971-319-2618. That's 971-319-2618, or go to arielhubbard.com. We'd love to connect with you.
Are you short on time and have a budget, but recognize the importance of marketing your business? Minuteman Press in Issaquah can help you create beautiful marketing materials for your whole office and beyond. Rachel and her team have been helping customers with their signs, vehicle graphics, apparel, and printing. With over 80 years combined experience, we'll handle all your branding needs so you can focus on what matters most, your customers. Call or email today, 425-391-4950, or Issaquah at minutemanpress.com. Relax, we've got you covered. Let us help you take the stress out of marketing your business.
You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, and co-host, Keelan Harvey on Alternative Talk AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage experts Tina Mitchell and Keelan Harvey.
You are listening to The Money Hour at 1150 AM KKNW, the Friday, November 13th virtual show. Because of COVID-19, our show is temporarily moved virtually. You can listen to our show on podcast or on air on Saturday at 3 p.m. with a rebroadcast on Sunday at 8 a.m. I am your host, Tina Mitchell.
And I'm your co-host, Keelan Harvey.
We bring into studio each week the best of the best experts in our local market on everything money. We're here to help you in today's economy. And now in studio, very excited to have Ariel Hubbard of Hubbard Health Solutions, keeping business thriving in a COVID world, right here on 1150 AM KKNW. Ariel, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Keelan, for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes. So a little bit about Ariel. Ariel F. Hubbard has worked as a practitioner in the holistic health field since 1988, and now teaches in-person and online continued education, as well as providing in-person and long-distance treatments in massage, energy work, and clinical hypnotherapy. As an author, she has written over 85 courses, 2 books and articles on Massage Magazine and Massage Today. She has facilitated healing workshops with clients, students, and medical professionals in clinical academic, and corporate settings. Ariel has mentored massage therapists, healers, and health practitioners since 1995, guiding them along their path of personal development and empowerment. She is a licensed massage therapist, registered clinical hypnotherapist, and a Reiki master teacher.
Ariel, look at you, rock star. Geez Louise, 85 courses. Look at you go. I wanted to start out by and this is always an interesting question, is how you transition your business, especially in your business, when COVID hit.
So when COVID hit, I couldn't work in person, right? So I started doing a lot of public outreach, a lot of education. I did a bunch of research. I wrote 7 new courses for people in my field, but I also did a lot of public outreach, and I taught meditation courses for the public for free for 3 months. And that was to help people manage their stress, maintain a connection, and keep positive energy moving during the pandemic, right? Because we need to, all relationships and all business is relationships, and all relationships have an experience where we're sharing something, right? So I wanted to bring something positive to people.
Wonderful. And disclosure, Reiki is what you do, Ariel. So wanted to chime that in there. So Ariel, yeah, and it's so important that it is building relationships. It's building new connections, keeping old connections. And in trying times where you actually are not in a position to financially benefit right now, when you're in a position like you, that you're out there and you're giving and you're contributing any way that you possibly can, those relationships and all of that is building through this process is having a huge impact for people now, which will then have a huge impact for you moving forward in the future. So Ariel, how did you build and maintain those relationships with the people outside of what you've talked about when you couldn't see them in person?
Right. So with my students, my new people, my people I've been with for years, I reached out on social media. I called, I texted, I Facebook messaged. I went to extraordinary lengths. I kept thinking, who's going to need some support right now? Who's going to need some emotional support, energetic support, positive energy. So I just would have these intuitive ideas of who I would reach out to. So I reached out to people that I used to work with, new people that I've just met, and also people that I've been working with for years. And I would try every different medium I could think of just to connect with people and say, how are you? How are you doing during this time?
Yeah, and Ariel, people that are listening on podcast when this comes out or on radio, and they're not actually seeing you here in this virtual, the passion that you can see in your facial expressions when you're sharing all of these things that you were doing for people in the most trying time in your business, it's beautiful, Ariel. Thank you.
Thank you. You're so sweet. And you always share. You're always incredible. What can I say?
So Ariel, I got to ask you, so, it could be very on the surface or feeling kind of on the surface. I imagine with when you have a one-on-one and you see people face to face, you have this deeper connection that you can get with people. And I wanted to get your feedback on how you establish such a deep connection with people considering the circumstances.
Well, love and compassion go a long way. People can feel that, we call it good juju, but that's what it is. When you make an effort to share love and compassion with people, and that literally comes out of your heart, it comes out through your eyes, and it comes through your voice, right? And I also it's called long distance healing. It's a way to send positive energy over long distances. And I actively do that as well for people, just to interact with them and just uplift people. I did do a fun little project, super quick, I want to share. So I worked out at the Y, I was in a workout class, and all these older women were in class with me. We were all students. We couldn't work out. And I thought, you know what? I have a yoga teacher certification. I have a professional Zoom account, and I've done dance for 45 years. I'll do a little workout. And so I started teaching this little workout class 3 times a week. I thought it would be 2 weeks just to help out. It's been 8 months, and I'm still doing it.
That is so awesome. And, I had this question to ask you, Ariel, and I'm going to ask it. However, I actually know what the answer is going to be, but we'll see. So in all of the industries, yours was one of the industries that was hit the hardest, yours and the restaurant industry. How did you maintain your own self of well-being in a high stress time?
So self-care is something I teach all of my clients and my students, and I practice what I preach. So I exercised a lot, right? Because I was teaching this class, so I couldn't get out of it. I didn't want the COVID-19. Exercise, meditation, adequate sleep, proper nutrition, positive outlook, and reaching out to friends and colleagues and connecting with people. All of that is really key right now.
I love how you just get boots to the ground and get busy to help people. That's fantastic. And that's what you're doing. You're making differences in people's lives. So good for you.
And
Thank
that's
you.
what I was going to say, Keelan. The reason that she is in such great spirit in this challenging time for her is because she's coming from a place of contribution. You're helping others, Ariel. And by doing that, you can't help to feel good and eliminate some of the stress that's naturally going to be there during these trying times for you.
Absolutely. You know, I was kind of, meditating and thinking about, well, what can I do? I feel so out of control, like all of us have been feeling. And I was meditating and I heard you're a leader, so lead. So that's what I just started doing, right? Because people count on us. They count on us. They need, you two are educators. I mean, look at this conversation around money and all the great information you share all the time, every week. I mean, people count on you to get information and support in your wisdom. I mean, it's a huge contribution. And I think everybody can make the contribution. The other guests on the show today, I learned great things. It's awesome.
Yeah, the wisdom of our show are our guest, Ariel.
So it sounds like just commitment to people in general is a huge driving force for you and your business. Can you expand on that? How do you maintain that?
Commitment is such the issue. I had to do a lot of research before I went back to work safely so that I could make sure I would protect everybody that I was working with. For me, it's all about making the world a better place, and sharing with one person at a time. And I'm always my idea is I want to help the world make a better place. And I do that through my interactions with people. And I just feel like the world needs help and people need help. And it's important to me. So that's my commitment.
Love it. So Ariel, let's talk about some changes that you have made during COVID. I mean, obviously you've expanded in more education, creating more courses, getting really creative around what you need to do to stay connected. What other changes have you made?
Basically, I also started working on some other projects. So, for all the business owners out there that are listening to this, maybe there's something that you're passionate about that you now magically have time to do because there's more time than you thought maybe. So I decided, I'm going to work on some things I really enjoy. So I created all those new meditations. I'm working on a book and a podcast, and on just some other projects because I wanted to just add to my life by doing something that inspires me, and then still work on supporting people as well.
I love that. It is interesting what people have taken up, as far as their kind of other projects and things, and people are becoming their own experts in new things just based on more time on their hands. So curious, Ariel, what was your biggest challenge during COVID for your business?
Parenting, online school for my child, and working from home and not losing my mind.
Amen on that one. I feel your pain.
That's interesting because I would have never thought that I worked from home. I've always been the entire team needs to work in the office. We need to be there together. And I don't know that I'm going to have anybody go back. My husband wants to get me out of the house, but other than that, I think we're going to stay. It's working out really well. Ariel, so let's talk about advice that you can give to parents or business professionals, owners of businesses during COVID. As we wrap up our time here, 1 minute left that we have with you.
I'd say pick 1 to 2 goals per day. See if you can get those done. Release perfectionism and release self-judgment and judgment of other people that you're stuck in the house with, and give yourself some grace. We need to give ourselves some grace and some self-love. If it doesn't turn out the way you thought it would, let it go.
That is great advice, Ariel. I always say you got to just put it out there. Put it out there, and it will master itself once it's been released to the public. The mastering doesn't happen behind the scenes. It happens when you get it out there, put yourself out there. So great advice. Ariel, again, thank you so much for coming in on the show.
Thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah. And Rachel and Angel, thank you for being here as well.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And this is your host, Tina Mitchell.
And your co-host, Keelan Harvey.
We are your local mortgage experts, and we got to sign off for the day. Enjoy the rest of your week and your weekend. We look forward to talking more money with you next week, right here on 1150 AM KKNW.
Tina Mitchell, MLO 145420, and Keelan Harvey, MLO 1330075, are licensed loan originators with Highlands Residential Mortgage Limited, NMLS 134871. The views expressed by the speakers on the preceding program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views of Highlands Residential Mortgage Limited, nor are they necessarily endorsed by Highlands Residential Mortgage Limited.